The scanner died the moment we crossed the threshold. Captain Maria Chen watched the device spark once, then go dark in her gloved hand. Behind her, the expedition team froze. They stood at the edge of a city that should not exist, towers of crystalline metal rising from bedrock that predated human civilization by millennia, perfectly preserved under the violet sky of Terminus. 9, a planet catalogued as lifeless 3 centuries ago. "Movement," whispered Sergeant Cove, his rifle already tracking left. A figure emerged from between 2 spiraling structures. Not human. The being stood 7 feet tall, angular and elegant, covered in what looked like living chitin that shifted colors with each step, deep purple to silver to black. Its face was narrow, almost avian, with 4 eyes arranged in a diamond pattern that fixed on Maria with unsettling precision. "Lower your weapon," Maria ordered softly. "Captain, lower it." The alien stopped 30 feet away. It raised one hand, palm forward, the universal gesture of peace, or something close enough to matter. Maria's heart hammered against her ribs. This was first contact. Real first contact. Not ruins or artifacts or ancient broadcasts, but a living, breathing intelligence on a world Earth's best scientists had declared dead. "I am Sa-Gen," the alien said. The words came from a translation device on its chest, the voice oddly melodic. "You have come very far to find what was meant to remain hidden. We're explorers from Earth," Maria replied, fighting to keep her voice steady. "We detected energy signatures from orbit. We meant no intrusion." "Yet you crossed the veil," Sa-Zen tilted its head. "The barriers that have kept this place secret for 800 years. You walked through them as if they were morning mist." Maria glanced at her team. 7 men and women, the best Earth's colonial fleet could offer, now standing in a city that defied every law of planetary archaeology. The structures around them hummed with power. Lights glowed in windows that shouldn't have lights. The air smelled of something like cinnamon and ozone. "Why are you here?" Maria asked. "Why hide an entire city?" "Not my city," Sa-Zen said. "I am merely its keeper. The Queen will decide what you may know." Before Maria could respond, the ground beneath them shifted. Not an earthquake, something deliberate. The plaza they stood in began to descend, a massive platform lowering smoothly into the earth. Her team scrambled for balance. Cove's rifle came up again, but Maria caught his arm. "We're guests," she said firmly. "Act like it." The descent lasted 30 seconds. When they emerged, Maria's breath caught. They stood in an underground chamber so vast its ceiling disappeared into shadow. Bioluminescent vines covered the walls, casting everything in soft blue light. At the chamber's center sat a throne carved from a single piece of black stone that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The Queen was already watching them. She was larger than Sa-Zen, perhaps 9 feet tall, her chitin armor more elaborate, marked with patterns that moved like living tattoos. 3 additional limbs folded against her back. Vestigial or functional, Maria couldn't tell. But it was her eyes that commanded attention. 6 of them, arranged in 2 rows, each glowing with an inner luminescence that shifted from amber to deep red. "Humans," the Queen said, her voice bypassing the translator entirely, resonating directly in Maria's skull. "After all this time, humans." Maria stepped forward, ignoring the fear clawing at her spine. "I'm Captain Maria Chen, Earth Colonial Fleet. We come in peace. Peace." The Queen's mandibles clicked in what might have been amusement. "You bring weapons to a house you were never invited to enter and speak of peace. Standard protocol, there is nothing standard about this moment." The Queen rose from her throne. "Tell me, Captain, what do you know of the architects?" The words sent ice through Maria's veins. Every child on Earth learned about the architects in school, the vanished civilization that had left ruins on 40 worlds. Technology so advanced humanity still couldn't replicate it centuries after discovering their first outpost. They had disappeared 3,000 years ago, leaving no explanation, no survivors, only questions that haunted humanity's expansion into the stars. "They're extinct," Maria said carefully. "Are they?" The Queen descended from her throne, each step deliberate. "You stand in their last city, Captain. The final refuge they built before the end. And you arrived here not by accident, but because something in your genetics allows you to pass through barriers designed to keep everyone else away. That's impossible, is it?" The Queen stopped 5 feet from Maria. Up close she smelled of metal and earth. "Your species carries architect DNA. Fragments, remnants of an experiment conducted before Earth even developed written language. We have watched you for 3 centuries, waiting to see if you would find this place. Waiting to see if you were ready. Ready for what? The Queen's eyes pulsed brighter. To learn why the architects fell. And to prevent humanity from making the same mistake. Behind Maria, someone gasped. She raised her hand for silence, never breaking eye contact with the Queen. You're saying we're related to the architects? Distantly. They seeded your world with genetic markers. Insurance, perhaps. Or hope. We were their servants once, their children. When they realized what was coming, they gave us one final task. Guard this city. Keep their knowledge safe until those who carried their legacy returned. What knowledge? The Queen gestured, and the chamber walls came alive. Holographic projections burst into existence. Star systems, equations, schematics for technology Maria couldn't begin to comprehend. And then, images of war. Planets burning, ships the size of moons tearing through space. And everywhere, structures identical to the ruins humanity had found scattered across the galaxy, all of them collapsing, crumbling, dying. The architects discovered a truth about the universe that destroyed them, the Queen said quietly. They learned to manipulate the fabric of reality itself. They could reshape worlds, extend lives, travel between dimensions. They became gods, Captain, and like all gods, they grew arrogant. Maria watched the projections, horror building in her chest. What happened? They attracted attention. Something that exists between realities, something that feeds on civilizations that reach too far. The architects called it the threshold. When you learn to bend reality, the threshold learns to bend you. It consumed them world by world, city by city, until only this remained. The projection showed the final days, desperate last stands, cities like this one being hidden, protected, sealed away with technology meant to endure forever. And through it all, the threshold, a presence that couldn't quite be rendered in 3 dimensions, a wrongness that made Maria's eyes hurt to perceive. Humanity is approaching that same threshold, the Queen continued. Your quantum drives, your terraform technology, your experiments with dimensional compression, you're walking the same path they walked. We have waited 800 years to warn you, to show you what awaits if you continue. You're asking us to stop advancing, Maria said slowly. To abandon progress. I'm asking you to be wise. The Queen's voice softened. The architects gave you their genetics not to make you powerful, but to give you a choice. You can learn from their fall. You can choose a different path. Or you can reach for godhood and suffer as they suffered. Silence filled the chamber. Maria felt the weight of her team's eyes on her back, felt the enormity of the decision forming before her. This wasn't just first contact anymore. This was the moment that would define humanity's future. Why tell us this now, she asked. Why not contact Earth directly? Because, the Queen said, you had to find this place yourselves. You had to prove you were ready to listen, and because there is a child among you. Maria blinked. What? A child? The Queen's gaze shifted past her, settling on the youngest member of the expedition, Dr. Copy. Sarah Kim, barely 23, fresh from academy. One who carries the markers stronger than any human we have detected in 300 years. She is the reason the barriers fell. She is the proof we needed. Sarah stepped forward, her face pale. I don't understand. You will, the Queen promised. If you choose to stay, if you choose to learn. I offer humanity a bargain. Send us your best minds. Let them study here, in safety, away from Earth's ambitious reach. Let them learn the architect's mistakes so they can teach your species a better way. In exchange, I will share technology. Not the dangerous kind, but the sustainable kind. Methods to heal your worlds without breaking reality. Knowledge without corruption. And if Earth refuses? Maria asked. The Queen's eyes dimmed. Then we will seal this city again. We will erase your memories of finding it, and we will watch as humanity walks toward the threshold alone. Maria looked at Sarah, saw hope and terror warring in the young woman's eyes. She looked at her team, saw the same conflict reflected in every face. This was bigger than protocol, bigger than orders. This was the choice that would echo through generations. The captain took a breath and made her decision.